I'm Maegan Tanner. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist at Love Heal Grow. My favorite couples to support are folks who they care about each other, they're committed, and they're just finding themselves disconnected. I think it's really common for folks to get caught up in the day-to-day of life, and they find themselves maybe drifting apart or just kind of pausing and reassessing, and it's like, wait, where did we go? So I find that those couples have complaints about like feeling disconnected and not attuned to each other, kind of like we're living parallel lives. Sometimes too, folks come in with complaints around communication, like we're picking at each other, or like our conversations are really just about logistics and we're not connecting about other things. Yeah. So folks can expect when they come into therapy with me that we usually start with skill building and communication skills. How do we talk about hard things? What happens when we talk about hard things for each of us? And other ways to connect, as well as helping folks identify some of these like pitfalls of conflict and things that are really harmful. And how then do we work with those? How do we work kind of doing different things? So I think that is very human. I think a lot of people come into therapy anxious and nervous for the process. I think it's absolutely common to feel anxious about sharing with a new human, being vulnerable with a new person, as well as being vulnerable with their partner. Maybe there have been things that they've been sitting with for a long time and they haven't known how to share it because they were worried about what would happen. And so I would just say that you're a human, and it makes sense that you're uncomfortable about the unknown. I think about that is anxiety. So my job is to support folks in the room feeling comfortable and safe, or at least getting closer to comfortable, and to kind of reinstill that like this is a safe place, and there's hopefully we are developing trust and rapport so that people can kind of lessen the nervousness as they continue. Some signs that couples are doing well in therapy are that they're feeling more connected to each other. I think, conflict is inevitable. We are going to fight or argue with our partners. I think that's just human, again. But it's how we fight and how we have conflict, and not necessarily like what happens in the actual moments of conflict, but rather like how do we repair? How do we come back together and kind of soften towards each other and turn towards each other? So I think that when folks are doing well in therapy, that they're learning how to do that and actually doing it, actually implementing those skills that they're learning. I think my hope for the couples I work with is that they are starting to live a life in their relationship that is more fulfilling, that they are learning with and from each other how to create and sustain a relationship that is fulfilling and meaningful for them both, or multiple partners, if that's the framework.